It is easier to do a job right than to explain why you didn't. The less government interferes with private pursuits, the better for general prosperity. The atonement of Jesus Christ is the only remedy and rest for my soul. The government should not be guided by temporary excitement, but by sober second thought. There is a power in public opinion in this country, and I thank God for it. For it is the most honest and best of all powers, which will not tolerate an incompetent or unworthy man to hold in his weak or wicked hands the lives and fortunes of his fellow citizens. Railroad carriages are pulled at the enormous speed of 15 miles per hour by engines which, in addition to endangering life and limb of passengers, roar and snort their way through the countryside, setting fire to the crops, scaring the livestock, and frightening women and children. The Almighty certainly never intended that people should travel at such breakneck speed. As to the presidency, the two happiest days of my life were those of my entrance upon the office and my surrender of it. Most men are not scolded out of their opinion. Is it possible to be anything in this country without being a politician? I am more than ever convinced of the dangers to which the free and unbiased exercise of political opinion, the only sure foundation and safeguard of republican government, would be exposed by any further increase of the already overgrown influence of corporate authorities. No evil can result from its slavery's inhibition more pernicious than its toleration. I shall tread in the footsteps of my illustrious predecessor. Those who have wrought great changes in the world never succeeded by gaining over chiefs, but always by exciting the multitude. The first is the resource of intrigue, and produces only secondary results. The second is the resort of genius, and transforms the universe. In time of peace there can, at all events, be no justification for the creation of a permanent debt by the federal government. Its limited range of constitutional duties may certainly under such circumstances be performed without such a resort. There is but one reliance. The second, sober thought of the people is seldom wrong, and always efficient. Between Russia and the United States, sentiments of good will continue to be mutually cherished. I only look to the gracious protection of the divine being, whose strengthening support I humbly solicit, and whom I fervently pray to look down upon us all. May it be among the dispensations of His providence to bless our beloved country with honors and with length of days. May her ways be ways of pleasantness, and all her paths be peace. I never knew a man more free from conceit, or one to whom it was a greater extent of pleasure, as well as a recognized duty, to listen patiently to what might be said to him upon any subject under consideration. Neither, I need scarcely say, was he in the habit of talking, much less boasting, of his own achievements. It affords me sincere pleasure to be able to apprise you of the entire removal of the Cherokee Nation of Indians to their new homes west of the Mississippi. If laws acting upon private interests cannot always be avoided, they should be confined within the narrowest limits, and left wherever possible to the legislatures of the states. I tread in the footsteps of illustrious men, whose superiors it is our happiness to believe. The national will is the supreme law of the republic, and on all subjects within the limits of his constitutional powers should be faithfully obeyed by the public servant. We remain at peace with all nations, and no efforts on my part consistent with the preservation of our rights and the honor of the country shall be spared to maintain a position to avoid the necessity of a permanent debt and its inevitable consequences. I have advocated and endeavor to carry into effect the policy of confining the appropriations for the public service to such objects only as are clearly with the constitutional authority of the federal government.